Although narcissists can be notoriously selfish, they are also capable of being quite generous. This can be very confusing for us, and I want to talk about that in this video today. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I am not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. If you've had a pathological narcissist in your life, there's a pretty good chance that that person may have at times been quite generous, and this can lead to confusion and all kinds of problems. I want to talk about the problems this creates. I want to help you understand why a pathologically selfish person can sometimes be generous and what that means and what it doesn't mean. Generally speaking, a pathological narcissist will be generous for two reasons. The first reason being that it just makes them feel good about themselves. Narcissists like to view themselves in idyllic ways, and they have certain ideas in their head of what the ideal person would be like or act like, and they like to act that out. They have a script in their head of what the perfect person would say and what they would do. So that's one reason that a narcissist may be very generous, because they think that that's what a perfect person would do, so that's what they do. And you'll notice that it's all about them. They may be doing good things for other people, but they're doing it for selfish reasons. The second reason that a pathological narcissist will be generous is a little more of a problem. And that is to have something to hold over your head later, to manipulate you with, to make you feel obligated to them, to create a tool with which they can guilt trip you. So basically to manipulate you. In the first scenario, if a narcissist is being generous just because it makes them feel like however it is they want to feel about themselves, there's really not too much of a problem with this. They aren't necessarily conscious of the reasons that they're being generous. Narcissists operate on a subconscious level a large amount of the time. They're trying to fool themselves into believing that they're something that they're not. And by being generous, they can help convince themselves that they are the person that they want to be. So even if their intentions are purely selfish and purely for the purpose of making them feel good about themselves, if you were to call them out on this, they probably aren't even consciously aware of it, and they would probably be quite offended that someone that they've done so much for is criticizing them. And you know what? They might kind of have a point. To play devil's advocate for a minute here, when we try to guess the intentions of somebody else, especially when we are imagining that their intentions are bad, however, their actions are good and helpful, that's not really fair. That's what narcissists do. Narcissists project bad intentions on you, and they imagine that you have bad intentions when you don't. So in my opinion, if a narcissist is being generous and they aren't using it as a weapon against you, I don't see anything wrong with just appreciating what they're doing and letting their true intentions be whatever they might be. I think it's important for us not to lose ourselves. I think it's important that we stay reasonable and fair. Now, of course, what I'm saying does not apply if the narcissist is being generous so that they can hold it over your head later. And even if a narcissist is being generous so that they can feel good about themselves, they may at a later date pull up this memory they have and use it against you, even if that wasn't their original intention when they did whatever they did for you. While I want to say that it's okay to appreciate a narcissist when they do helpful, generous things for you, it's also important not to allow that to carry over into giving them a pass when they take it too far, when they act like you owe them something now, or when they use it to guilt trip you or make you feel obligated to them in some way that is not reasonable and that is not proportional to whatever it is they did for you. It's okay to appreciate what they've done for you. It's not okay to allow them to use that for permission to use you, abuse you, exploit you, and manipulate you. It's okay to feel grateful But it's not okay to allow a narcissist to make you feel like you're being ungrateful if you don't now do everything they want you to. When narcissists make you feel like you're being ungrateful for what they've done, I want you to remember that when normal, healthy individuals are being generous with people they care about, they aren't expecting anything in return. Normal, healthy individuals don't keep score of their generosity. They don't expect everything to be returned in equal measure. And they certainly don't expect to get a pass for abusive behavior because of good things they did in the past. Normal, healthy individuals are generous because they care about people, and normal people feel good when they give. They don't just feel good about themselves or the picture that they have of themselves. They feel good because they've made a difference in the life of someone they care about. And that's really all the reward that most people need. Some of them don't even expect gratitude in return. They just feel good being helpful, and it makes them feel like they have a purpose, and that's all they expect in return. I think it's really important to hold on to this idea when you inevitably come to a point when the narcissist is trying to cash in on the things that they've done for you, because they're really good at making you feel like you owe it to them. No one has the right to treat you badly. No one has the right to abuse you and manipulate you and lie to you and exploit you. Nobody can purchase that right. There is nothing that anyone can give you or do for you that would make it okay for them to treat you badly. You don't owe that to anyone, no matter what anyone has done for you. You don't owe them your life. You don't owe them your happiness. You don't owe them your money. You don't owe them any favors. The generosity of another human being doesn't create some kind of debt in you that they have the right to come back and cash in any way they want later. That being said, I can guarantee you that narcissists are not going to see it this way. They're going to be quite offended when they learn that they can't control you and abuse you and exploit you just because of something that they did a while ago that makes them feel like they've earned that right. This is a really good opportunity to practice good boundaries. The generosity of somebody that would later try to cash in or exploit us or mistreat us can be very confusing, especially if we're somebody that's particularly vulnerable to this type of manipulation. After we end the relationship with somebody that has been abusive towards us, their generosity in the past may confuse us. A narcissist may use their generosity to simply guilt you into staying in their life, no matter what, no matter how they treat you. And if you're trying to end a relationship with an abusive person, it can be very difficult to reconcile the good things that they've done or the good times that you've had with them. It's okay to be grateful for the things that they've done for you, and it's okay to acknowledge that there were good times and that this person had some redeeming qualities and that there were some things that you're going to miss in the relationship. That doesn't mean that an abusive person is somebody that should remain in your life. The abuse by itself is a good enough reason to end the relationship. It doesn't matter how many good things came with it. Pathologically narcissistic people split you, as I've talked about in the past. This means that they see you as all good or all bad. They can't integrate both ideas into one human being. And as abuse victims, sometimes we can have this same problem, and we can have a difficult time reconciling the fact that somebody who has hurt us, who is abusive towards us, also has good qualities and has also been generous towards us and has had good times with us. It's hard to reconcile this sometimes, but as we heal from abuse, we can learn to integrate the good and the bad in people. And this is something that narcissists are probably never going to learn how to do. A human being doesn't need to be completely bad in order for you to justify cutting off the relationship. In addition to the confusion that generosity can cause, it can also make us feel guilty. We can feel guilty leaving this person behind. Maybe the narcissist has paid off debts for us and now we're debt free and we're just going to walk away. maybe the narcissist has introduced us to some really great friends, or maybe they got us a really good job that we have, and now we're just gonna keep these good things and walk away. Like I said before, there is nothing that anyone can do that will earn them the right to abuse you. If somebody is abusing you, it doesn't matter what all they've done for you in the past. And it especially doesn't matter if those things were done in order to make you feel the way you do now. I often say when people ask, why do narcissists do this? Why do narcissists do that? I say, well, how does it make you feel? However, what they did makes you feel is often the reason that they did it. So if a narcissist tries to say, after all I did for you, don't forget that that may be the only reason they did it, so that they could say that later. And unfortunately, generosity can also confuse other people. When we try to break off hurtful, abusive relationships, people from the outside may look in and say, wow, how can you leave this person behind after everything they did for you? And that's just something that you have to accept. There are people that just are never going to understand and don't really care about the truth and aren't going to have any sympathy for you. And those people are not really your friends. They never were, and those relationships are not worth nearly what you think they would be. If somebody is not willing to listen to your reasoning for wanting to break off a hurtful, abusive relationship, it doesn't really matter what they think. When trying to understand the generosity of some narcissists, it's important to understand that narcissists are transactional. This means that everything they do, especially in relationships, is a transaction in their head. That's how they see it. They don't see it as something that they're giving to someone. They see it as a type of investment. They expect everything that they put out to be returned to them. And sometimes all they want in return is control. When they start to lose control of the relationship, if they've invested a lot expecting for it to buy control, they may become very angry when they're no longer able to cash that in. It's okay to let them be angry, and it's important to remind yourself that people that are generous out of the goodness of their hearts are never going to come back and expect anything out of you, especially something that's going to hurt you. People with good intentions aren't going to use what they give you to make you feel trapped or obligated towards them. They won't give you the things they give you with strings attached. They won't use the things they do to guilt trip you later. Narcissistic generosity really at the end of the day is an attempt to buy you. It's an attempt to buy your life, to buy the right to abuse you, to buy anything that they may need from you later, and to buy control over you. It's time to remind yourself that you're not for sale. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.